Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Man Behind Ministry podcast. I'm your host, Minister Ryan Smith of the Virgin Street Church of Christ, right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Welcome. It's the premiere episode, first episode, kicking this thing off in 2023. I know everybody's got your resolutions and got your goals. And I want to say personally, this podcast, this production was definitely a goal. A lot of time invested, a lot of prayer, a lot of people making sacrifice to make it happen. You know who you are. We appreciate you. Appreciate y'all tuning in. YouTube is a big space. You know how people say, yo, you could be anywhere else in the world, but you're right here. And that's real with YouTube. It's bigger than a physical place. You could literally be anywhere looking at your favorite channel, looking at YouTube TV. I mean, looking at anything, especially in this world where we're so consumed with digital content. But you chose to be right here, rocking with your boy, and I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. When you talk about what we're doing, man, this is nothing new. There's a lot of questions. You talk about, okay, um, podcast or everybody's hopping on one. So Brother Ryan, with Pastor, what makes yours different from everybody else? It's a good question. And truth be told, when I began to create the structure and just vision for this, there were a lot of questions that I had to ask myself. And that's how we're going to rock this podcast. It's going to be question form. So we ain't going to waste no time, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go. Yeah. So, uh, what we're doing here today is not anything new or the first of its kind, right? You say, Ryan, what you mean by that? Podcasts have been around for quite some time. Um, they started out, the majority of them, if not all of them, were just audio only. So you could listen to it, multitasking while you work, listen to it working out, listen to it, just in the neighborhood, whatever, right? So help you pass time. And so now with COVID, social media, and just the continued advancement in technology, it's not just audio only, but now it's video content. And so uh number of questions that we got. All right, and we're gonna jump into it. First question. Question number one I had to ask myself when you talk about creating this thing. Number one is, what's the point of concern? In other words, another way of saying it is, people always say, hey, find your why. Like, why are you doing things? And so when I thought about YouTube and how I wanted to do this, people consume digital content for a couple of reasons. One, um, for solely out of entertainment, right? Just entertainment, something enjoyable. For me, if you like me, maybe somebody's like me, I like movies. Outside of ministry, I love to watch movies. I call it my sanctuary. I call it my way of escape. It's what I do when I kind of want to get my mind off of the monotony and the things of life going on. So I go and watch a movie. A lot of times people be like, yo, what you going to go see? I'm like, I don't know. I figure out when I get there. Like, that's how often I went. I'm one of those. I'm an AMC guy. I'm an A-Stubs member. Yeah, if you're an AMC person, you got that membership, you already know. 3 movies for free a week. That's, yeah, that's me. All right. So, um, and so you have the entertainment, value of watching video content. Secondly, people consume content to solve a need or an issue, right? And so I said, okay, and give you an example. All right. My father, he's a handyman. He can pretty much fix just about anything. And when let's say he's working on a car or fixing something around the house and he's got a part, but maybe he's got some concerns on how to get it done, my father, hop on his phone, get on YouTube, type in his issue, and then bam, video after video after video that you can scroll through and figure out how to fix your problem, right? Or let's say if you like to cook, right? You got your ingredients, but you're not really sure how to mix that thing together. Hop on YouTube, put in your end result, your recipe, and then bam, there you go. You watch it to get that need, right? And so for me, being a minister, pastoring a church, being a church leader, I was like, you know what? What issues do ministers have? Yeah, I know we got plenty. I know we got plenty. Um, and so I started looking up some stuff, man, looking up, researching, looking at numbers and data. And one of the interesting things I found was that a church conducted a survey of various anonymous ministers and pastors. And one of the responses to the questions, based on the data, was that 70% of the ministers that took the survey said that they, one, felt alone, and or two, they didn't feel like they had anyone in their life that they trusted with personal problems. 70%, y'all. That's a lot. Like not 20, not 30, or even 40, 70. That shocked me. Like it's not, I mean, I'm a minister, so I know that ministry can be a lonely place, but 70%, I was like, wow. And I said, you know what? That's my why. Um, and so there needs to be a space and a medium where we can talk about our humanity. All right, look, I know a lot of y'all saying, okay, humanity and preachers, we know where our mind goes. It's always a negative connotation. Okay, what pastor done did? Okay, he done slept around, or he done embezzled some money. So on and so on. That ain't what I'm talking about. Okay, um, we're human. We're people. We have hobbies. We have things that we enjoy doing that aren't ungodly, right? And so we're not people that just have our head in the Bible 24/7, 365. Like we're human and we have lives, okay? And so we need a medium where we can talk about our humanity in a positive way, right? All right. So that was question number one. Number two, what's the goal and solution, right? So we discovered the why. All right, what's the issue that we see and want to address? Now we got to ask, yo, how are we going to solve this problem? All right, what's the goal in mind? Now let's be clear. I'm not saying that this medium is going to be a end all be all in terms of solving that issue between minister and member and the disposition or perspective that people have of ministers, pastors, and church leaders, right? So, but this is not going to be end all be all. But what I am praying that this is a stepping stone to get the conversation started, right? And so, how we gonna do this thing is it's gonna be interview style. And so, what you'll see over the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, you're going to hear from a variety of ministers. And I'm talking about old. I'm talking about young. Those who are well known, those who are unsung, those who are black, those who are white. Okay, I want this thing to be extremely inclusive. Okay. And so I'm excited about it. So I'm looking forward to it. And you say that's important. And so not talking about the negative stuff that we know goes on. We're people that happens. But I want to talk about, yo, when you're not preaching, who are you? Like when the camera's off, when you say that final amen, what you doing? Like what are you into? What keeps you going, right? Ministry's not a 9 to 5, right? People don't just wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm gonna be a pastor. Ministry is not some sought after, desired thing to do or occupation in life, right? Historically, people always say, okay, as a pastor, as a minister, yo, what's your calling? Case in point, I'll give you mine, right? So I'm 34. I've been preaching since I was 15 years old. Yeah, it's been a long time, right? Um, 15 years old. My calling, if you will, super informal. It wasn't flashing lights, Kanye West style. No, I'm playing. Wasn't some flashing light, some cloud opening and a dove descending. Wasn't nothing immaculate like that. It was super informal. One of my late great uncles, Clifford Vincent, he was also in ministry alongside his brother and his father. And for me, um, I love people, but I also want my private time, But I love people. I love to help people. But I was like any other boy, any other teenager. My dad played sports growing up, really good at it, and so I want to be like my father. I want to play football. I want to play basketball. I want to do what everybody else is doing, right? And so my uncle, looking at me, observing me from afar, came up to me very casual, was like, "Yo, nephew, I want you to do me a favor." I was like, "Sure, what's up?" He said, "In 2 months, um, I want you to get you your favorite scripture that you like, study it, put your outline together, and in 2 months, I want you to preach it." And I was like, "All right, cool." And for me, I'm the son of two educators. My mom was a retired principal. My dad's still in the school system, PE teacher. Most cats know who my parents are. So being in front of people, talking, being structured, that wasn't no problem for me. Like I said, I love helping people, right? So I was like, cool, let's do it. So um 2 months went by, we studied, we practiced together at the church, all that kind of stuff, right? And so preached my first sermon in October of that year. I think that was October of 2003. Somebody felt did it once, fell in love with it. Again, this ain't something that's desired. People to think, it's not something that's sought after. Fell in love with it. Been doing it ever since. So that's my origin in ministry. And I think it's important, me personally, if you are a person of faith, if you are a churchgoer, and you are on the receiving end of the word of God via your pastor, I think it's important to know that kind of stuff, right? Because it gives you a better appreciation for who they are and what they do, right? So it gives purpose, it gives meaning. Also, too, it's important to know that because what I've learned in ministry and just in life is oftentimes people um, we view other people from a consumerist mentality, right? Uh, we're really big on consumerism. In other words, what I mean, in lack of better words, is yo, what's in it for me? What am I getting out of this deal? What's coming my way, right? We look at people like that. We look at opportunities like that, if it's a job, something like that. And so with church and worship and faith, a lot of the weight is placed on the shoulders of the man of God, right? And so we look at him not as a person, but as a product, someone that produces something for me. Okay. I'll make a live for you. Um, I got my boys I talk to in ministry, and we got this running joke, right? So, we'll talk to each other about our lives, our challenges, all that, because we get it. We understand each other. But we always joke and say, hey, man, the people don't care about none of that. They don't care about your life and what's going on outside the church building. All they want to know is on Sunday mornings, is there a word from the Lord? Seriously, think about it. Skip all that. That's cool. That's fine. Deal with that Monday through Saturday. When you get up in behind that podium, behind that sacred desk, all we want to know is, what did God tell you to tell me? Seriously. And so we always joke like that, right? And so I think it's important to learn and gather, like, hey, yes, this person is called by God to do great things, but let's not forget that he's a person, just like me, who has emotions and feelings and hobbies and things that he they like to do, so on and so on, right? Yeah, so that's number two, right? So that's what we plan to do. And finally, number three, last question that I had to ask myself that really helped me kind of mold and fashion this thing is, yo, okay, Ryan, if I'm watching this, Ryan, what should I expect? We talked about the why, found the issue of concern. We talked about the how, right? And so lastly, yo, what should I expect? What's this thing gonna look like? Is this gonna hold my attention? All right, what should I expect? All right, number one, first thing you want to expect and know, this ain't no Sunday morning church service. Let's go and put it out there. This ain't your Wednesday evening Bible study on Zoom. This ain't no Bible class. Nah, this ain't none of that. All right. So as you can see, yeah, I learned to never say never, but you're probably never gonna see me in a suit. So if you tuning in right now and you're expecting this thing to be a Sunday morning type experience or feel, you can go and check out now, because that ain't. I mean, we'll talk about ministry, but this is real practical, real laid back, real chill. All right. So that's what Sundays are for. So now it ain't. Come to church on Sunday. All right. Come to church on Sunday. All right. This is a whole different vibe, different feel. Okay. And so we want this thing to be fun. We want this thing to be inclusive and welcoming really to everybody. And whether you are a minister, whether you're a member, whether you support the ministry, whether you're a person of faith, you may not even believe in God. That's cool too. The fact that you're watching, hey, I appreciate it. So as long as you're interested, that's all that matters, right? So just think about that. We want this thing to be chill, want this thing to be fun. And I'm just excited about just this opportunity, where this is going and where God's gonna take this thing, man. And y'all gonna make it happen for me. Let's go. Let's get it. So that's the whole point of this thing, man. I pray this thing really just bless you, kind of got some insight on where we're going. I'm excited about this. Again, this has been a goal, something been planning for a while. And I'm glad y'all guys are here, tuning in, rocking with your boy. A couple things I want to keep in mind. We doing this every Thursday. This is a weekly episodic event. Every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if this thing blessed you, if this thing held your interest, man, go ahead and share it with somebody. Let somebody know, I just found this podcast, this pastor, this minister out of Tulsa, man. I'm really feeling this vibe. I'm liking it. Go ahead and share it. Go ahead and like it. If you want to tune into this thing on a consistent basis, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's going to bless you and keep you in tune. So whenever we release this content, as always, you will be the first one to get it. So we'll see you until next week, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until then, we'll see you. God bless you. Peace.